Hey gang, thank you for joining me at 2 Texas Lobsters React. And today we are going to watch the origins of comfort food. Man, I love comfort food. Maybe a little bit too much. I need to go on a diet. But this is the origins of comfort food by the Townsends. So if you get a chance, check out their channel. It's full of great history information, and this guy really lives it and loves it, and it shows. So here we go. Without any further ado, let's watch the origins of comfort food.
I love searching for buried treasure. And when I'm researching in history, that's what I'm looking for. Things that we've lost, things we've left behind, things that maybe we need to look at again or even bring back. Today's episode is about fried potatoes. So I've been researching all about potatoes and going different places, looking at different books. I think I found a hidden gem, and I'll talk about that a little bit later, but fried potatoes are wonderful. They're a comfort food for me. I remember them as a child, eating fried potatoes all the time. They're something that we eat in our childhood because when we're a child, our parents probably aren't well-to-do and we're eating inexpensive foods. And those come back to us in adulthood. Those inexpensive meals are those comfort.
I don't know about you, but for me, growing up, it was always fried Spam and potatoes and onion, fried onion. Oh, if I never see another can of Spam, it will be too soon. And in Texas, it's a big thing. I don't know about with you guys. Also, she'd take hot dogs, cut them in half, put barbecue sauce and cheddar cheese on them, put them in the oven, and that was dinner. Oh, man. Horrible food, but good memories.
Foods we remember as children, and they usually are something, inexpensive and simple. I love those recipes. I love looking for, fun, simple recipes, and they connect us with today. So fried potatoes, perfect kind of thing for that. Potatoes in our time period are fairly new. They haven't been around in Europe for hundreds and hundreds of years. They only start popping up in English cookery at about 1650 or so. By 1750, they become very popular. A lot of people are surviving almost on nothing but potatoes. And so potato recipes are just sort of popping up everywhere in 18th century cookbooks. And a lot of them contain a very simple fried potato recipe. Hannah Glass's is the classic of this time period, and it is basically exactly like probably what you're used to fried potatoes being. You take raw potatoes, you slice them up thin, and you fry them up in a pan with a little bit of oil or maybe butter. Of course, they wouldn't do what we would do. I would just sprinkle, salt on them. They put sugar and sack wine on them. I don't know what those fried potatoes would taste like. And that's not what we're gonna make today. The intriguing recipe I found was from Primitive Cookery. Now, this recipe book is a collection of recipes that I found at other places.
You guys, hey, I love to cook. I think that's why my wife married me. It couldn't be for anything else, I promise you that. But you know what? If you guys have old recipes that you'd like to put down in the comments, I mean really old recipes, I would love it. I would absolutely love it. Please share if you can. Thank you.
Most of them from cookbooks, but this particular recipe for fried potatoes comes out of the Modern Husbandman by William Ellis in 1744. This isn't a cookbook, it's a book on farming that includes a few recipes. This is very interesting in that the dish is not a side dish like we would expect our fried potatoes, but it seems to be a dish that is meant to be the entire meal. That got me going. That's the one I want to try. Let me read to you this recipe out of Primitive Cookery because it's word for word the same as the William Ellis recipe. To fry potatoes, when they are boiled and sliced, have yolks of eggs ready beaten up with a grated nutmeg or two. When the pan is hot, dip the slices in the yolks of eggs and put them in your pan. And when they are fried on both sides, pour over them butter, sugar, and rose water. Let me tell you what we're not going to do. We're not going to put rose water on our wonderful fried potatoes. But other than that, this recipe is very, very interesting, very good. I did not add these nutmegs. They're in here. I don't go back in time and add nutmegs to every recipe. I can't help it, even if I am the chairman of the International Nutmeg Fan Club. It's there. It's right there.
Wow, what a
This recipe
title.
sounds like a brand new comfort food to me. I can't wait to try them out. The first step is boiling the potatoes. Now you're going to say, fried potatoes, why are we boiling the potatoes first? Well, if we don't boil these first, then when we put that egg coating on the outside, that'll cook, it'll overcook, and the potato will still be raw. So that's why we have to boil these first.
Wow. I've never fried a potato after I boiled it.
Small farming is a fascinating topic in the 18th century and what's happening in Great Britain. We dig into William Ellis's books, and he's got multiple ones, and he touches on this small farmer over and over again. The resources that he needs, the kind of help he needs, and how he deals with the crops and the animals and the household altogether. He's writing books for this entire system. So maybe you're not a big fan of nutmeg and you want to try some other spices. Think about what you would use in French toast. Maybe cinnamon. It's a good place to experiment.
So when we go out to eat, my wife Misty and I, we go to this place. It's called Roadhouse, and they have baked sweet potatoes with butter, sugar, and cinnamon. Man, it's so good. Man, it's so good. I think it'd be good on a regular potato too. Sweet potato and a potato are two different things completely, but it would probably work. Yeah.
The buried treasure I found wasn't just this recipe, but this wonderful letter. It was a letter written in 1797 by a farmer, and he explains his situation. Now, 1797 is important. That's a time in Great Britain when there's a crop failure with wheat and bread is very, very expensive, and it's causing bread riots. And this farmer writes a letter to the editor, and he says, "My family does not even eat bread." And he goes on to explain. He says, I have a small farm, not a rich farm, and my family is 23 people. And he probably means an extended family. He might even include some farm workers in his family. He says, we survive on potatoes as our bread. We grow potatoes on 4 acres of land. As soon as they're ready to harvest, right after Michaelmas, we dig pits in the ground and we store our potatoes in the pits. We put straw on top of them, horse manure on top of that, and then we pack sod on that. And the potatoes are good year around. So he has potatoes whenever he needs them.
Wow. That looks
They use
good.
potatoes for every single meal. They might boil them, they might fry them. They have potatoes for everything. Maybe some meals are just potatoes, other times it goes with another kind of dish.
I could do that.
But the hidden treasure for me was this concept of this entire family unit, these 23 people and this small farm. This was like a small factory. In this situation, if you were sick, there was help. If you needed extra people for harvest, there were people available. It was very resilient and self-sufficient. That's one of the things we have left behind. We don't have those kinds of units of family left anymore. Not a large situation like that that's self-reliant. I'm not saying that we'll ever be able to get back to anything like that. We've progressed from that, but there are concepts there that we need to address in our modern lives. Are there situations and are there communities around us that we can connect into to get back to something like that? Those are the hidden gems I love finding.
Man, I love this guy. I've always admired him, and I've really enjoyed how he takes this to heart. Man, he loves his history, and it shows. I mean, the guy lives it. Check out his channel, Townsend's. You're going to love it. Townsends, I believe is how it's spelled, yeah.
That we just can't even fathom today.
God, that looks good.
Let's think about the family in the letter. They've grown their potatoes, eggs from their chickens. They've made an entire meal. It's time to try this one out. I've decided that we're going to try out some with...
If you have not grown your own food, I highly encourage you to do so. I've always been a farmer. Way back when my family were farmers, we lived in a HOA. I grew a garden. I've always had a garden. My wife appreciates harvesting it. We've had chickens even when we weren't supposed to have chickens because we wanted the eggs. You know, it's funny because when I saw COVID hit, I knew what was coming and I was prepared for it. Had everything canned, had everything stocked up already. I did not see the HOA bring fresh eggs to my door when I needed them. But they'll complain about you having them. City law trumps HOA law. Look it up. So if you live in an HOA or wherever you live, have your garden, have your hens, have your fresh eggs. Pardon me. When you grow food like this, you would not imagine the pride that comes with knowing you grew your own, you made your own. Try it out. Even a small garden, just try it
out. Salt and pepper, and then just like the recipe calls for, some with sugar. So we'll see what these taste like. Let's try the salt and pepper first.
That looks really good.
Good. It's good. The potatoes definitely have a different texture than what you're used to. You know, are nice and soft, but still hold together. You don't want to boil those so long that your potatoes kind of fall apart. The real question is, what about the sweet ones? Are they like French toast? Okay, that's weird. I don't know if I like that or not.
He's honest. Honest.
Let's stick with salt and pepper. The sugar one was weird. I'm not ready for that.
I love his
honesty. The
honesty.
Salt and pepper one definitely reminds me of hash browns. Probably a little easier to make than hash browns, and it gives you that same kind of flavor and that wonderful comfort food feel. If you're interested in more about how families are eating and poor families eating in the 18th century, make sure to check out this video on the Poor Man's Feast.
Beautiful video. Well done. The art is there. The style is there. He rocks that outfit. I think maybe I might even try that. I apologize. I've had a cold recently, so I'm a little froggy. But thank you so much for tuning in. I'm really trying to make a go of this channel. I'm trying to bring the best material to you, so please put down in the comments what you'd like to see. Please, please ring the notification bell. Like, share, and subscribe this video so I can bring more material like this to people just like yourself, and we can all enjoy it together. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in to 2 Texas Lobsters React, and I'll see you next time.